Hi Suzanne, here's your new bus. First thing you're going to want to do is turn on your propane. So you reach in here and this will operate your furnace, your refrigerator, so forth, anything that runs on propane. Turn this to your left, that turns your propane on. There's a gauge on there to tell you that you have a half a tank right now, and you can check that anytime you want. Turn that on first. We're going to start on the outside and then go to the inside. I just want to give you a quick rundown of the outside. This compartment doesn't have keys and lock, but if you just pull it down, you can open it with a screwdriver or something gently. Don't break your plastic here. Anyway, your house battery you'll find in the front here. On the right hand side, your engine battery is to the left. And then you have your typical fills like your radiator and your oil checks. Your oil fills are here at the top of the motor along with your transmission dipstick. Those dipsticks are really long, so be very careful with them. This canister here is for your power steering, and the power steering looks fine in that. Coming to the brake issue, you do have a small brake leak in the line, so that'll need to be addressed. But you'll find the brake reservoir. It's best to turn this wheel far left. You actually have to climb under the RV and sit upright, and you'll see a little brake tag in there, and the reservoir is up inside that frame. And I did check that. You've got full brake power now, but you need to get that leak addressed, and but that's where you'll find the reservoir. Walking back through the bus, this is just a standard storage compartment. This is where your electrical comes in and out, and attached as well with your generator. If you get to a campground and you want to plug in, you'll take this, unplug it from the generator. This is your generator plug, and you'll pull this cord all the way out and hook up to a campground post. There's several types of adapters. I'll show you when we get to another compartment. You have good ones. This is will work as well if you wanted to plug into a regular house. You could just plug in that and plug that in. Now, very important, when you get back to the RV, you've got to plug this cord back into the generator. Otherwise, you won't have power inside the coach when you're going down the road. Generator's right here. To start the generator, there is a switch inside, but you can also start it here. Oil fill, if the oil gets low, the generator will shut off automatically. The generator will also shut off if you get your RV down to a quarter tank of fuel. It's made so that you don't run your rig out of fuel sitting there. To prime the generator, you hold the stop button for approximately 4 or 5 seconds, and that primes the motor, and then you switch to the start button. And now we'll start it. And then to turn it off, the same thing from the inside. Stop button is your primer mode. Moving right along to the back here, you find your fuel fill, unleaded fuel there. This is where you're going to hook up your water. If you get to an RV park and you want to hook up to a regular hose, this bypasses the tank as well as the water pump, and gives you pressure from the city. That's called your city water hookup. Your sewage dump valve is down below here. When you go to dump, you hook the hose to that, put it in your sewer drain, and then pull that valve, and you know what happens after that. Good stuff. Anyway, this is where your fresh water fill is. This is a fairly flexible plastic door, so since we don't have a key for it, I just put a little razor knife or something behind this and bend the door to open it to fill your water tank. That's for your fresh water. Coming around this side, essentially storage compartment. These are what I was telling you about, the extra park hookups. These are better quality, and it also gives you additional cable. This is what you want to attach to your hose when you hook up to the city water pressure, and that regulates at a much lower volt flow than what your park
PSI.
PSI. There you go. Thank you, Jason. And on to just pointing these things out. This is the back of your furnace. This will get very hot. That's an exhaust. And to open this is the back of your refrigerator. You twist these two black pins. You could use a penny or a screwdriver, but be very gentle with them because they'll be fragile. And then just open this out and then lift it out of the track. That's the back side of your refrigerator should you have any issues or need this service. You should try to keep that clear of cobwebs and so forth. And to put that back in, just snap it back into place, put it in the track at the bottom, and then close your pins. This is the back of your hot water heater. It has a pull opener. Open it like such. This is how you would light your hot water heater if you want to take a hot shower. So this is your on, off, and pilot. What you do is put it to the pilot position all the way over, and then you'll take a lighter, better to use big long one, but you'll stick it right into these front of these rods here, your heating elements, and then holding it in the pilot position, you can put a flame in there and make sure that the pilot's lit. Sometimes you might have air in the line, so it may take a couple of tries at it, but right now your pilot is lit. And since I just had it lit not too long ago, it should switch right on to hot. But you can watch that flame, and if you get too ahead of yourself, it will blow out, and you just have to relight the pilot. Now you can see the fire shooting into that tube, and that's heating your water tank. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to the off position so that's not running. So that would give you hot water, but you do have to light that manually. Below this, another storage compartment. This is also where you'll find your jack to change tires and things of that sort. This is again back to the propane compartment, and that one does not lock, so that anybody, if you smell propane at any time, you can get in there and shut that off. Onto the inside. We will just take a quick tour. I took out 4 small screws from the bottom side of your dashboard. And all you do is lean this dashboard forward, and you'll find your fuse panel on the left-hand side here for all of your engine fuses and dashboard and chassis fuses. You do have brake pressure up. Again, you'll have to get your brake line serviced. Coming up here, you'll find that there's another generator switch. Same situation here. You would turn it to the stop position to prime it, and then push the start button, and it'll start. You want to let your generator warm up before you start powering up appliances. There's a button on the left-hand side called the auxiliary start. And with that button, if you've been playing your radio and you've killed your engine battery, if you push that auxiliary start, it will bring the house battery and the engine battery together and give you a starting power. Give you a boost so that you don't get stuck. I'm going to leave the generator on so I can show you some appliances. This is your television antenna. I wouldn't mess with that nowadays. You don't get any channels anyways, but we'd have to go up on the roof and service that if you wanted to use that at some point. Moving back through the coach, on your right hand side by the floor is your main box that comes in, your converter box. You have your breakers, and now you have the house fuses here. There's a panel that shows you what operates what there. As we work our way around into the bathroom, you do have to turn on your water pump. Here you'll find your water pump switch. That gives you water for the entire coach. Now coming in here, you've got running water, your shower, and as well as your toilet. We can turn that water pump off. Going to the air conditioning, you want to start that by turning it into the fan position. You'll hear the motor start and the generator strain a little bit. Then work your way up to the cool position. And you want to run it through those speeds before turning it directly to high speed, high cool. Coming to the back, this is where you start your thermostat for your heater. All you do is push the top button all the way to the right. That'll be on full heat. And there's an on-off switch at the bottom. Switch it to on. And then you it will take about 30 seconds to a minute, but you'll hear the furnace kick in and kick on. And you can check that by the tube underneath the bed that will start blowing hot air. Turning it off in the same way, it's not instant off. It will take about a minute for it to cool off and then shut down. Refrigerator, best to just put it into the auto mode, which I did earlier. You can see that it's operating. Right now it's running from electrical, since we have the main house power on and the generator running. if you leave it in that and we turn off the generator, which we'll do, it will automatically switch to propane so that your refrigerator continues to stay cold. I've already checked it out, it works well. I'm just going to switch it to off. Good way to see if you have electrical running into the coach at all. Come over here and check your microwave. If those lights are blinking, then you know that you have power, electric going on inside the coach. One quick thing, the plug in the bathroom is a GFI plug, so if any of your power goes out, check that and reset that button first. Moving back to the front, you do need to stick a lighter to your stove and turn your propane on. Be very careful that that doesn't blow out and continue bringing in propane. That brings me to the propane detector, which is here on the floor. That's always on when you have house power or battery power. And if it detects propane, there is a reset button on that you need to switch if your propane appliances aren't working. And I pretty much think that's it as far as the tour and the walkthrough. I hope you love your new RV.